Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with this week's installment of Rabbi E in 3, brought to you as always by MEOR DC. Please find us on Facebook, MEOR DC. Learn about our programs, especially the Maimonides Jewish Leaders Fellowship, an amazing program of education and inspiration every semester on the campus of GW University. Okay, who is ready to travel back into the past with Rabbi E? A stroll down memory lane, a little nostalgia, a look back at glory days. And I'm inviting especially my good friend John, who might be watching, who was with me during the glory days of the summer of 1984. I was class of 84 of college. In that year, during that summer, Bruce Springsteen, great rock and roller, puts out his blockbuster album, Born in the USA. Dan, na, 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 na. I'm not going to sing it. I could sing the whole album for you. I really could, but you would not like it. I'd enjoy it, because I'd be looking back at my own glory days that summer as a young man. And one of the songs off that album, not the best song, but a cute one, called Glory Days, all about the allure and the danger of being someone lost in nostalgically remembering their earlier exploits of their younger days, the danger of turning to someone always sharing boring stories of glory days. That's one of Springsteen's songs on the album. Now, why am I mentioning this? Because this period of the Jewish calendar is about looking back at the glory days, the glorious days of our people. We're in the period of time known as the 3 weeks, culminating on the 9th of Av, Tisha B'Av, the day when both temples were destroyed. These 3 weeks are a sad time, a time of mourning the loss of the temples, of the greater spirituality and unity that the temples brought to us as a people, a time to reflect on what we've lost. We're not at the spiritual level of earlier times. We look back on those glorious glory days of a people dedicated to God. Now, we weren't so dedicated as we should have been, and that's why both temples were taken away. But the point of these 3 weeks is not to get misty-eyed about the past or wallow in the glory, and certainly not to be boring, but to be inspired to try to recreate as much as we can in our diminished time, the closeness to God we had then, and to yearn for the restored closeness that we look forward to with the building of the third temple and the upcoming Messianic age. It should come. So the nostalgia, it's not nostalgia of looking back at these glorious days, is for the sake of regaining the sparkle in our eyes and the inspiration. Not boring stories, inspiring stories of spiritual glory days of our people. And actually, this week's Torah portion is called Pinchas, the half Torah, which is read after the Torah portion of the first chapter of Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, the great prophet. And oh boy, the first prophecy he's told to convey to the Jewish people is not one of rebuke and scolding. He'll get to that. He'll be warning the Jewish people that they have to repent or the temple will be destroyed, the first temple. But the first message he's supposed to give to them is to remember the glory days of our beginning as a people. Go, God says, and proclaim in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, I remember for your sake the kindness of your youth, the love of your bridal days, how you followed after me in the wilderness in a land not sown. The inspiration of the Jewish people leaving Egypt, going to Mount Sinai, wanting to have a covenant with God. Glory days for our people, glorious days. To connect to that, to be inspired by that, to mourn the loss of what we had, to look forward to rebuilding it spiritually and ultimately physically. Glory days. Have a good Shabbos.